Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 2 of AMT Star Trek Next Generation Enterprise D. Scale is 1 to 1400. In part 1 I just went through the kit and roughly my plans, what I'm going to be doing. So in part 2 I'm going to be starting the build. Most of the work in this video is going to be for prep work. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. Now, as you can see, I've already started the work here, but I forgot to press record and I didn't record the start of the build. However, I did take some photographs, so I'll show you those in a moment. But what I'm doing here is I'm putting in the power cables for the lights for the nacelles. Because it's a solid unit, I had to drill a trench on the strut for the nacelle. And I did this by using my Dremel and just going along the line that's in the moulding and cutting a deep trench into it. Being careful not to go all the way through, of course. I then placed the wire in and secured it with a little bit of masking tape. That's just to stop it from moving. And then I used some filler just to go over the top. So it wasn't the ideal start, forgetting to press record, but hopefully you'll get a gist of what I done at this stage. Onto the top of the saucer section, and I'm beginning to drill out the windows here. And as you can see, I've got my Dremel tool, and I'm just very gently placing the drill bit onto the plastic and creating the hole. Now this worked okay for the first couple, but then the drill started to melt the plastic and took big chunks out of it. Now, my Dremel's got a different settings on it for speed, and I've got it on the low speed, but you can see there a big chunk's just been taken out. I didn't really notice at the time, and that's not ideal. The plastic was gathering on the drill bit, and it was just holding on to it, and that was heating up and melting the actual plastic. As I said in previous videos, I'm more than happy to show you my mistakes. That way you can learn from what I've done wrong. So what I've done here is I've filled up the hole and I've gone back to my pin drive, my try-tested method. Now this takes a very long time to do, but I'm individually drilling out the holes. If you do it this way, be gentle or you'll lose many drill bits doing it. And once I've got my hole, I'm just taking my knife down and opening up just slightly to the diameter I want. Now, these windows can be, are meant to be long and thin. Because I'm doing it this way, it's just going to take far too long. The drilling process, I can't emphasize enough the amount of time this takes. So therefore, what I'm doing on the top part is I'm not extending the window to its full length. I'm just doing these little pinpoint holes. It's not screen accurate. It's not how it's meant to be done. But I'm just not prepared to drill all of them out and make them the actual size that they should be. It's just my personal choice, but that it's not really how it's meant to be. It's just how I'm going to do it. It's just to save time and sanity, really. This process takes about 3 or 4 days to do in total. And what I'm doing here is I'm just taking off the bars on the back of the inside of the saucer section. This just removes any debris, and you can see then where your holes are or your windows are actually going to be, and no stray bits of plastic will interfere with the opening. On the bottom section of the saucer, however, I'm going to be opening the windows up completely. The reason for this is because there's a lot less windows to do. So I felt more comfortable doing it on the bottom half of the saucer section. So what I'm doing there, I'm just marking out with my pencil the windows I want to drill out. So what I'm doing this time is, again using my pen drive, but I'm making a series of holes down the window where those little pencil marks are, and then I shall open them up with my hobby knife. The reason why I've got a glove on, because I ended up cutting my finger doing this, so be very careful when you're actually doing this as well. Now, obviously, ideally, you would love to do that. I'd love to do this with my Dremel, but as I said, it keeps on melting the plastic. Obviously, the drill speed is just too high for it. So this, again, takes a lot of time to actually do. Now the windows are drilled up, and taking a piece of masking tape, and I'm just placing it on these markings that you see on the saucer section. Now these relate to windows, large windows on the outside of it. Now I don't want to drill these out because one, they're too large, and I'm afraid I'll end up cutting a big chunk out of it. So this is a little trick that you use when you're lighting up the kit, and you just want a bit of light coming through. So this will mask off any paint that's going to be going on from in a light block. So it's going to leave the plastic bare, and when I put the lights in, the actual glow of the light will still come through the plastic, but more of a diffused state. So you'll still see lights coming through, but it won't be too harsh on it. So once I'll do that, I'll just flip it over, and you can see the windows on the other side. And these are all the bits that have been masked off. Next, I'm drilling out the torpedo oil hole, which I think it's the torpedo launcher. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the same process as with the windows. Using my pin drive, then using my hobby knife just to open up the area. Now what I did there was I used the knife just to make a little mark inside the area, just as a pilot hole to start the drilling. It's an awkward shape. I should have really clamped it to the bench. Took a little bit of time to do, but I got there in the end. And as before, I'm just tidying up the area, but you can just about make out the actual opening. I've got to make sure that the light will pass through this, so when I'm doing it, I'm mindful of the underside, how the light is going to work into it, hence why I'm opening it up further. But I'll just point to the camera so you can see. You can just about make out the opening there. So then it's back to the saucer section, and I'm going to be drilling the navigation lights. That's a series of 3 lights on the saucer section. Now they don't actually have these marked on the moulding, but what I do is I take it from where the contact points are going to be, and I'll just manually drill the hole for it. It only has to be about 3mm in diameter. It doesn't have to be large. And once I do one section, I clamp up both saucer sections together and then do the other side. Now the reason why I do it that way is so then I can get almost the exact same position, or the exact position I should say, or the adjoining light. So once it's clamped up, I'll just place my drill in and drill down, so it should be pretty damn accurate on each side of the saucer section. So if you look where the contact points are there, this is just about where I've drilled the hole. And then my attention turns to themselves, and again it's just drilling the location lights at the back. And you'll quite a thin drill bit here. These holes are very small, and this is actually where I'll leave part 2. There's still a lot more prep work to do, but it would make the video too long, so we'll pick that up in part 3. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other videos? If you subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date, not only with this video, but all my future builds as well, of course. Hit that like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.